Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Before we start, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel so that I can keep making beautiful content like this and more people can see it. Okay, this is the March 2020 exam. This is the first SAT that got cancelled due to Corona, but lucky us, we've got the PDF file of the test. This is going to be the first time I'm going to go through it, so check it out. This is how you do all the questions to the March 2020 exam. Number 1. The table above shows some values of x and or corresponding values of y. Which of the following equations shows a possible relationship between x and y? We got 4 equations, we got a table, so it looks like basically we just need to pick the answer that works for all of the numbers in the table. So let's try them out. First one, y equals x plus 2. Let's plug a few values of x in. If we plug in -1, we're going to get -1 plus 2 equals 1. Okay, that seems to work. If we plug in 0, we're going to get 0 plus 2. We're going to get 2. That works. If we plug in 1, we're going to get 3. Okay, if we plug in 2, we're going to get 4. We plug in 3, we're going to get 5. Lucky us. A worked first, so A is the answer. We can just move on. Number 2. In the figure shown, line J is parallel to line K, and line L is parallel to line M. What is the value of X? So when the lines are parallel, a bunch of angles are going to be the same. Basically, if the lines are parallel, the general rule of thumb is if the angles look like they're equal, they're going to be equal. So let's see, what is the value of x? Let's see what we got. So this angle over here is 40. So we know that this angle over here is also going to be 40, which means that angle x is also going to be 40. So A is our answer. Okay, and now let's check out number 3. The function f is defined by f of x equals x squared minus 5x plus 6. What is the value of f of 4? Whenever they ask you to calculate the value of f of anything, you just have to plug that value into the equation and get an answer. So f of 4 is going to be 4 squared minus 5 times 4 plus 6. So this is going to be 16 minus 20 plus 6, which is going to get us an answer of 2b. Cool. Okay, chicos and chicas, let's go to number 4. Kelly? Araceli? Man, they really are trying to be ethnically diverse in this test. I'm going to say R. Kelly. I know it's going to be incorrect, but that is what it is. R. Kelly can spend up to a total of $20 in streamers and balloons for a party. Streamers cost $1.49 per pack. Balloons cost $4.39 per pack. Which of the following inequalities represents the situation where S is the number of packs of streamers R. Kelly can buy, and B is the number of packs of balloons R. Kelly can buy? Assume there is no sales tax. Okay, so okay, so all we gotta do is, in order to, we know that it's gonna be $20 in total. If the streamers are $1.49 each, that means, and the balloons are $4.39 per pack. When we take the number of streamers and multiply it by $1.49 and add that to the number of balloons multiplied by $4.39, that should be less than or equal to 20, which is going to be B. Oops, almost circled A. Number 5, Bill is planning to drive 1,000 miles to visit his family. He must really love his family, because that is a long drive. About a third of the length of the U.S., I think. If he plans to drive 250 miles per day, which of the following represents the remaining distance d in miles that Bill will have to drive to reach his family after driving for n days? Well, to get the remaining number, we have to take how many he started with and subtract what he drives. So he started with 1,000, so B and C are out. And then if he drove 250 miles per day, that's essentially the slope, and we have to subtract it like we said, right? So A doesn't make sense because A is adding, so the answer has to be D. Number 6, which of the following is equivalent to the given expression? Easy peasy, combine like terms. So we're going to have x cubed plus x squared plus x minus x. So our answer should just be C. Numero 7. That was weird. Number 7. Okay, so we have a nice little table here. The table gives us some values of x and the corresponding values of f of x. Remember, f of x just means the value of y for some value of x. Of the polynomial function f, which of the following could be the graph of f in the xy plane where y equals f of x? So we literally we need to see, we need to match up the table to the graphs. So let's see. When x is negative 2, y should be negative 2. And these look like they're going by 2z's. So when x is negative 2, y is negative 2, A looks like it doesn't work. So I'm going to cross that off. Let's look at B. When x is negative 2, y should be negative 2. Well, that doesn't work either, right? Because when x is negative 2, y is way lower. So B is out. C. When x is negative 2, y is negative 2. Okay, looks like that pretty much works. When x is negative 1, y should be 3. Okay, that looks like it doesn't work. So C is out. Let's check out D. D. Well, if we eliminated the other answers, I mean, it should be D, right? But let's double check to make sure we didn't screw up. When x is negative 2, y is negative 2. Clearly there. When x is negative 1, y is 3. Yeah, looks like it's there. Cool. Yeah, perfect. D's our answer. Okay, number 8. Okay, x plus 2 over x plus 2 squared is what we're given. Which of the following expressions is equivalent to the given expression where x is not equal to negative 2? Okay, well, if we have an x plus 2 on the top and an x plus 2 squared on the bottom, right? This is the same thing as x plus 2 over x plus 2 times x plus 2. So we can just cross those two off, and we're left with 1 over x plus 2. B is our answer. Number 9. Which of the following is an equation of the line in the xy plane that contains the point 1, 3 and 5, 15? Just plug them in and see which one works. Answer choice A, y equals 3x. We plug in 1 for x, will y equal 3? Yes. If we plug in 5 for x, will y equal 15? Yes, that's it. It happened to work. Easy peasy, donezo. Okay. Number 10. 4x plus b over 2 equals 2x plus 8 in a given equation. B is a constant. If the equation has infinitely many solutions, what is the value of b? So if there are infinitely many solutions, that means when we solve this and have set both sides equal to each other, they should be equal. So let's try that out. Let's multiply both sides by 2 because we can. 4x plus b over 2 equals 2x plus 8. So 4x plus b equals 4x plus 16. For both sides to be equal, therefore b must be equal to 16. D is our answer. Halfway there. Number 11. What is the area in square units of the figure shown? Cool. So you could solve this using either the trapezoid formula, which is base 1 plus base 2 times the height divided by 2, or you could basically divide this up into two shapes. You could divide it up into a square and a triangle, calculate their individual areas, and figure out from there. I'll just use the trapezoid formula. So the trapezoid formula is area equals base 1 plus base 2 times the height over 2. So this is going to be 4 plus 7 times 4 all over 2. So 11 plus 44 divided by 2 is 22. So our answer to 11 should be a B. Let's go to 12. Number 12. What is the y-intercept of the graph of y equals 4 to the x power in the xy plane? Y-intercept just means what is the value of y when x equals 0? So plug in 0 for x. This is going to be y equals 4 to the 0 power, which is going to be 1. So that means our answer is going to be 0, 1, which is going to be answer choice C. Number 13, what is the sum of the solutions to the given equation? I love this question. Best question, because it's super easy to do as long as you know the shortcut to getting the sum of the solutions. First, let's get this into like normal form. So, like the equation, set it equal to 0. So we're going to rewrite this as x squared. We're going to subtract 2x from both sides. So minus 16x plus 39 equals 0. So you don't have to factor it. You don't have to use the quadratic formula. You have to do none of that. You just have to remember that sum of solutions is equal to negative b over a. So here it's going to be equal to 16 over 1. So our answer is going to be D. Let's go to question 14. Oh boy. Okay, 14. We got an equation here. Okay, a bunch of physics terminology, blah blah blah. But anyway, the final question is, which of the following gives the speed of the objects in terms of the other quantities? And as we see, it's solved for v. Okay, so basically what we need to do is we just need to rearrange this equation and solve it for v. So this is going to look like this. We're going to have L equals S times the square root of 1 minus v squared over c squared. A few ways to do this. I would start just by squaring both sides, because why not? So we'll square both sides. So we're going to get L squared equals S squared times 1 minus v squared over c squared. Okay, cool. Easy enough for now. Let's divide both sides by s squared. So we're going to get L squared over s squared equals 1 minus v squared over c squared. No problemo yet. Then what we can do is subtract 1 from both sides. So let's bring this work up to here. So we're going to have L squared over s squared minus 1 equals negative v squared over c squared. What we can now do is, well, we know we need to have the v to be positive later on, right? So let's divide both sides by negative 1. So negative L squared over s squared plus 1 equals v squared over c squared. Okay, almost done. We want the v to be by itself, so let's multiply both sides by c squared. First let's divide everything by 1, though. We don't want, well, do we have to? No, scratch that. Let's rewrite this. Let's rewrite this as 1 minus L squared over s squared, because that's basically the notation in all the answer choices. Equals v squared over c squared. Okay, cool. Okay, so basically now we need the c to be on the other side, essentially. So we're going to multiply both sides by c squared. So we're going to have c squared. Oh man, there really isn't enough room here. Let's write this, keep writing this next to the actual question up here. So we're going to multiply both sides by c squared. So we're going to have basically, would that be the easiest way to do it? Yeah, just multiply both sides by c squared. So we're going to have c squared times 1 minus L squared over S squared equals V squared. Okay, great. Now we're getting somewhere. Now we need the V by itself. Take the square root of both sides, and we are going to get, if we take the square root of both sides, C times, this would work. The square root of 1 minus L squared over S squared equals V. So that would mean that our answer is A. Okay, got there. Number 15. The half-life of a certain substance in the aquatic environment is about 150 years. Which of the following exponential functions best models the amount A sub AT in grams of the substance T years after 200 grams of the substance is applied to the aquatic environment? And they define what half-life is. So basically, they said that after 150 years, we should get the weight should basically decrease by half. So in other words, when we make T equal to 150, we should get an answer of 100, because 100 is half of 200. Okay, so let's see which answer choice does that. The one that's popping out at me is D, because if we plug in 150 for D, that's going to get us 200 times 1/2 raised to the 1 power. 1/2 to the 1 power is going to be 1/2. 200 times 1/2 is equal to 100, which is what we're looking for, right? Because, like I said, if the half-life is 150 years, that means when we plug in 150 into the equation, we should get half of the value that we started with, which was 200. So we should get 100 when we plug 150 in, which is going to be answer choice D. Whoo! Okay, Gridden's long last. Hallelujah. Number 16. Okay, the graph of y equals mx plus b is here, shown the plan. What is the value of m? So m is just the slope. So m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So let's just pick a couple values. We see one value is 0, 4. Whoops. 0, 4 is one value. Another value that we have is -2, 0. So just plug those in. y2, so 0 minus 4 over x2 minus x1 over -2. So this gives us an answer of 2. Number 17, if x, y is the solution to the given system of equations, what is the value of y? Okay, well, let's see. 2x equals 5, so that means x equals 5 over 2. Let's just plug that into the top equation. So 5 over 2 plus y equals 5. So y is going to be equal to 5 over 2. Number 18, what positive value of x satisfies the equation above? Solve it for x. Let's start by dividing both sides by 5. So we're going to get x minus 3 times x plus 1 equals 0. So x can be 3 or -1. We need a positive value, which means x must be equal to 3. Number 19, 3x minus 0.6 equals 1.8. What value of x satisfies the equation above? Again, just solve it for x. So we're going to have 3x equals 2.4. So x is going to equal 0.8. And you could, of course, write that as 4 over 5 if you prefer. And last question, number 20. A square is inscribed in a circle with a radius of 6√2. What is the perimeter of the square in inches? Okay. So let's try to picture what this is going to look like. So we have a square that's inside of like a circle. Okay, so this is going to be like our circle. and the circle has a radius of 6.2 inches. So that would mean that this would be equal to 6.6 root 2. Okay, cool, because that's the radius. Okay, so that's 6 root 2. Let's zoom in a little bit. That tells us, let's just draw a line over here. So if that's 6 root 2, what do we know? Well, we know that this would be a 45, 45, 90 triangle. We know this because if it's a square, all the sides are equal, right? So then that means this dotted line would be equivalent to this dotted line that I just drew, which is equivalent to half of the side, right? So we know this is a 45, 45, 90 triangle. So if the hypotenuse is 6 root 2, that means each side of that little triangle that we draw, that I just drew, must be equal to 6. And this is from one of the formulas in your reference sheet, actually. Because the ratio is x root 2 for 45, 45, 90 triangle. So if the hypotenuse is 6 root 2, that means this side must be 6. So if that little small half, that side must be 6, that means the total side of the square must be double that. So that means this side right here, or any side of the square, must be 12. So if a side of a square is 12, the way you get the perimeter of the square is you just add up all the sides together, which are all the same. So it's going to be 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 12. So that's going to be, perimeter is going to equal 48. Done and done. So that's it for the non-calc section of the March 2020 exam, the Corona exam, probably the last test that a lot of people got to take. Well, some people got to take before it got canceled. I'll have the calc section uploaded soon. Like I said, please remember to subscribe and like this video, share it with your friends. And if you have any comments, questions, concerns, leave them in the comments below or email me at arthur@blackslateglobal.com. See you guys again soon.